A bigfoot walking on the water surface has many horns on its body. Is this the ancient divine beast recorded in the classic of mountains and seas? In fact, it is called the water pheasant, a bird species that lives in Africa and is widely recognized as a super daddy in the animal kingdom. Usually, male birds will clip their newborn chicks in their armpits, exposing only a few pairs of big feet, so the scene looks a bit eerie, and they will only unload them when they reach a safe zone. They practice polyandry, and once the female bird lays eggs, she will leave freely to find a new partner and form a new family. The young birds hatch and open their eyes without knowing what their mother looks like. So the male bird became the single father of this water area, raising all his children alone. He couldn't even be sure if these children were his own, but it didn't matter anymore. At this moment, the weak-bodied pheasant is following behind its father to learn how to walk smoothly on the duckweed and how to catch flies, shrimp, and various insects in the lotus grove. The father of the pheasant carefully grasped the scale of his upbringing. He not only gave the young birds enough freedom to explore the world, but also had to be constantly alert to the dangers lurking around them. The little ones were already able to hunt on their own, but they were still unaware of the impending danger. An African fish eagle is closely watching their every move, possessing special polarized vision that can penetrate water surface reflections and lock onto any moving target. The father of the water pheasant keenly sensed the danger, and usually the young birds would quickly hide back in his father's armpit and seek shelter. However, this time they were scattered too far away, so he issued a special alarm sound, triggering an instinct of a bad-feeding messenger, which is to pretend to be dead. He floated stiffly on the surface of the water, motionless, with even his breathing becoming extremely light. At this critical moment, the father pheasant only hoped that his children would stay as still as possible to avoid being caught by predators. Fortunately, the osprey chose a fish as its target this time, and the crisis was temporarily resolved. The father pheasant hurriedly searched for his child everywhere, but the more anxious he ran on the water surface, the more easily the ripples he stirred up exposed his position. A crocodile lurking underwater is using its nerve-filled skin to sense the vibrations of water waves. The young bird, still desperately escaping underwater, successfully caught the attention of this fierce beast. The father sounded the urgent alarm again, and the chicks immediately repeated their old trick, pretending to be dead collectively. The small holes on their beaks allowed them to breathe even when they were still underwater for a long time. Watching the crocodile slowly approach the water, Dad unexpectedly charged straight towards this dangerous predator, using his petite body to block their sight and try to attract their attention. Perhaps it was his courage that intimidated the crocodile, or perhaps the crocodile felt that these little ones were not enough to feel its teeth. The father urgently called out to the children. The three young birds quickly woke up from their feigned death and swam back to their father's side. But there was still one that did not respond. The heart of the pheasant father once again reached his throat. He ran all over the pond and kept calling out for the missing child. I found the little water pheasant near an inconspicuous corner, but it was lying on the water surface without any movement. In this natural world where the law of the jungle prevails, there is never mercy for the weak, and survival of the fittest is the only law. The pheasant father is heartbroken and emits a mournful cry beside his child. What happened suddenly? Dad's cry unexpectedly woke up a weak pheasant that had been pretending to be dead for too long and unfortunately fell asleep. he casually crawled into his father's armpit. And I'm sure this fearless and peaceful little pheasant will become a leader in the group in the future. After all, true powerhouses never complain about their environment.